I never expected the night to break me the way it did. The storm outside was loud, but the storm inside my chest was louder. I kept walking in circles around my small room, trying to breathe, trying to think, trying to understand why everything in my life was falling apart at once. It felt like the walls were closing in, and every shadow reminded me of something I had lost. Earlier that day, I had received the message that shattered me, the truth about my brother's betrayal. He was the one who leaked my plans, the one who whispered lies about me, the one who pushed me into the trap that almost ended everything. I kept reading his words again and again, hoping I misunderstood, but the truth never changed. It burned like fire. My hands trembled as I sat on the edge of my bed. I wanted to scream, but my voice felt locked. I wanted to cry, but even my tears refused to come. Betrayal from an enemy is painful, but betrayal from family is something else. It breaks you in ways you cannot explain. It makes you question your worth, your memories, even your sanity. I stared at the ceiling and remembered the promises we made as kids. We said we would always protect each other. We said we would never lie. We said nothing could break our bond. But promises are only words, and people change. Some change for the better. Some change into monsters. I forced myself to stand. My legs felt, but I walked to the window. The rain hit the glass in patterns like the world was crying for me. I wished it could wash away the hurt inside me, but pain is stubborn. It stays. It grows roots. My phone buzzed. For a moment, my heart jumped, thinking it was him again, but it was a message from her, Isla. The only person who still cared. She asked if I was safe. I didn't know how to answer. Safety felt like a distant dream. I typed slowly, telling her I was fine even though it was a lie. She always sensed my truth anyway. Minutes later she replied, telling me not to be alone. Telling me that I mattered. Her words felt like a light in a dark room. I left my room and walked into the hall. Every sound echoed. Every shadow felt alive. I didn't want to stay there any longer. I grabbed my jacket and stepped outside. The rain soaked me, but it felt honest. It felt real, something my life had not been for a long time. I walked with no destination. Maybe I just wanted space. Maybe I wanted to disappear. But Isla's voice in my mind kept pulling me back from the edge. I kept hearing her say, "You're stronger than what hurt you." I didn't feel strong. I felt broken. But sometimes broken people still keep walking. Maybe that's its own kind of strength. When I finally stopped, I was standing under a streetlight. The light flickered like it was struggling to survive the night. I understood that feeling too well. I closed my eyes and breathed deeply. The air was cold, but it cleared my mind. I knew I couldn't stay silent anymore. I had to confront my brother. I had to demand answers. I had to reclaim the part of me he tried to destroy. The night was dark, but somewhere inside me, a decision began to glow. And for the first time in a long time, I felt a faint spark of hope. I was still replaying the screenshots in my head when my phone buzzed again. I hoped it was an explanation, but it was a voice note from Aunt Rose. I pressed play and the sound of my own voice hit me like a punch. The words were angry, sharp, and cruel, nothing like how I talk. I whispered, "This isn't me." My mom walked into my room and said, "So you heard it?" I said, "That voice is edited." She shook her head and sighed. "Stop lying, Adrian." I stepped closer and said, "Why would I lie about something this stupid?" My dad appeared behind her and said, "Because Mina told us you would deny everything." I felt my stomach twist as I asked, "Why would she say that?" My mom crossed her arms and said, "Maybe because it's true." I replied, "It's not." My dad pointed at my phone and said, "Then explain the voice note." I said, "It's fake. Someone is copying my voice." My mom laughed softly like I had said something ridiculous. She said, "You're only making yourself look worse." "Mom, please listen to me," I said. "I don't talk like that and you know it." Before she could answer, Uncle Robert stepped inside the house. He looked at me then looked away, saying nothing. I asked, "Did you hear the voice note?" He nodded and said, "It sounded like you." I said, "It's not me. Someone wants to destroy my image." Ethan walked in behind him looking unsure. He asked, "Are you okay?" I said, "No. No, I'm not." My mom said, "You should apologize to Rose." I said, "I won't apologize for something I didn't do." Dad said, "You're making this harder than it needs to be." I answered, "I'm trying to protect myself because no one else is doing it." Ethan stepped closer and said, "Maybe we should just listen to him." My mom snapped, "Ethan, stay out of this." He said, "I'm just saying the voice sounded weird." My dad frowned and asked, "Weird how?" Ethan said, "Like it was stretched or something." I said, "Exactly. Someone edited it." Mom shook her head again and said, "You're blaming invisible enemies now?" I replied, "I'm blaming the person actually doing this." Robert finally spoke, "Maybe we should wait before judging." My mom glared at him but didn't argue. I said, "Thank you, at least someone is thinking." Mom whispered, "I don't know what happened to you." I said, "Someone is framing me and you won't even consider it." Dad said, "Until you prove otherwise, we believe Rose." I looked at Ethan and whispered, "Please believe me." He said, "I don't know what's happening but something feels off." His words kept me standing while the rest of my world collapsed. I said, "Someone is targeting me and they know exactly how to hit where it hurts." Mom replied, "Then show us real proof, not excuses." I said, "I will. I don't know how yet, but I will." Ethan asked, "Do you think someone hacked your phone?" I said, "Maybe. Or maybe someone close has access to it." Mom whispered, "Who would do that?" I looked at Mina's room and said, "That's what I'm trying to figure out." No one responded and the silence felt heavier than the accusations. I whispered, "Someone is destroying me piece by piece." Ethan stepped closer again and said, "If you need help, just tell me." I nodded and said, "You're the only one who even believes something is wrong." I breathed out, feeling the walls closing in around me. I never meant to touch Mina's things, but that afternoon the house felt too heavy, too silent, and I couldn't stop thinking about the voice note. My mind kept repeating the same question. Who hates me enough to create all this? I kept staring at her old tablet on the shelf, and before I even realized it, my hand was reaching for it. "Mina won't notice," I whispered to myself as I powered it on. "She doesn't even use this anymore." My heartbeat hammered when the screen lit up. Most apps were empty, but a small folder caught my eye, a gray icon named Projects. I tapped it and a password box appeared. I tried her old birthday. It worked. Inside were dozens of screenshots, all of them of fake conversations. My name. My picture. My number. But the words weren't mine. What is this?" I breathed. One screenshot showed me telling Aunt Rose, "You're nothing but drama." Another showed me calling my father useless. Another had me mocking my mother. Then one where I told Mina herself, "You're dead to me." My legs almost gave out. Why would she do this? Why? I scrolled faster, hoping it was a misunderstanding, but every file was another knife. Fake insults. Fake threats. Fake attitude. The timestamps were months old. "This was planned," I whispered. "This wasn't an accident. She's been doing this for a long time." A wave of heat rushed through me. My own sister, the one who used to defend me, who used to sit beside me during storms, had been building a case against me behind my back. The front door clicked open. I panicked and placed the tablet back exactly where I found it. My hands were shaking when Mina walked in. "Adrian," she said. "Why are you standing here like you saw a ghost?" "I'm fine," I muttered, but my voice cracked. She slowly walked closer. "You look pale. Did something happen?" I swallowed hard. "Where were you?" "Out," she said casually. "What? You checking up on me now?" I bit the inside of my cheek. "Should I?" She narrowed her eyes. "What's that supposed to mean?" I kept staring at her. She noticed. She smiled, the kind of smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Say it," she whispered. "Whatever you're thinking, just say it." "I think you know what I'm thinking." "Do I?" She tilted her head. "Because lately you've been imagining a lot of things." I stepped back. "Mina, why are you doing this?" "Doing what?" she asked, her tone soft but poisoned. "Existing? Breathing? Talking? You know exactly what I'm talking about." She laughed under her breath. "Adrian, you're acting paranoid. Maybe you should calm down." My fists tightened. "Stop pretending." "Pretending?" she repeated. "If you're trying to accuse me of something, at least be clear. You never make sense when you're emotional." I stared at her face, looking for even a flicker of guilt. Nothing. Just smooth calmness, like she had rehearsed this moment. She leaned closer. "Did someone say something to you? Mom? Dad? Aunt Rose?" I didn't answer. "Oh," she said softly. "So that's it. You think I'm turning people against you." I forced myself to breathe. "Are you?" She placed a hand on my shoulder. "You're hurting. I get it. But blaming me won't fix whatever is going on in your head." I moved away from her touch. "Don't act like you care." Her smile faded just a little. "I do care. I always care. But if you start accusing me of things you can't prove, then, well, you'll only make yourself look worse." My chest tightened. She knew. She knew exactly what she was doing. "Mina," I said quietly, "I saw the folder." Her eyes froze for half a second, just half, then returned to calm. "What folder?" she whispered. "The one you hid." She walked past me toward her room. "You should stop while you're still ahead, Adrian." And with that one sentence, I knew the manipulation had only just begun. I knew something was wrong the moment I heard my name echo from the living room. The tone wasn't normal, it was heavy, organized, like a court waiting for a confession. When I stepped inside, everyone was already seated, and every pair of eyes landed on me as if I had walked in with blood on my hands. Mina sat in the center, hands folded neatly, pretending to look fragile. I felt my stomach drop. "What's going on?" I asked. My mother sighed. "Adrian, sit down." I stayed standing. "I'll sit when someone tells me why everyone looks like I committed a crime." Mina sniffed softly. "Please don't start with that tone again. I told them you'd come in defensive." "I didn't even say anything yet," I replied. My grandmother Helen leaned forward. "We're concerned about you." "Concerned?" I repeated. "About what?" My father crossed his arms. "About your behavior toward your sister." "My behavior?" My voice cracked. "What did she tell you now?" Mina whispered. "I didn't want to bring it up, but things have gotten out of control." My chest tightened. "Say it clearly." She wiped an imaginary tear. "You've been attacking me emotionally. You twist my words. You make me feel unsafe in my own home." "What?" I stepped back. "That's a lie." My mother shook her head. "Don't raise your voice." "I'm not raising my voice," I said, breath shaking. "I'm shocked." Samantha looked at me like she didn't know me anymore. "Why would she lie about something like this?" "I don't know," I said. "Maybe ask her." Mina's voice trembled perfectly. "I told all of you he'd deny everything. He always denies everything." Grandma Helen sighed. "Adrian, denial doesn't help anyone." I stared at them. "You're all judging me without even asking what happened." My father pointed at me. "So explain. What did you say to her?" "I didn't say anything," I replied. "She's twisting everything. She's been creating fake screenshots, fake voice notes." Mina gasped. "You're accusing me again? In front of everyone?" Mother murmured. "Adrian, this is exactly what we're talking about." I felt heat rising up my neck. "I'm not accusing her. I'm telling you the truth." Mina shook her head slowly. "You always make yourself the victim." "I'm not the victim," I said. "I'm the one being framed." Samantha crossed her arms. "Screenshots? Really? Why would she do that?" I whispered. "I found them. On her tablet." Mina's voice softened like honey. "That tablet is old. Anyone could have touched it. He's imagining things again." "Imagining?" I whispered. "Mina, I saw your folder." She looked at the others. "He's not well. This is why I told you we needed to talk." Grandma Helen nodded. "Maybe you need help, Adrian." My throat tightened painfully. "So I'm the unstable one now?" Father murmured. "We just want peace." I laughed weakly. "Peace? By calling a meeting to accuse me of hurting my own sister?" Mother looked at Mina. "Sweetheart, are you okay?" Mina lowered her eyes. "I'm trying to be." Everyone's attention swarmed her like bees protecting a flower. No one looked at me with even a hint of doubt. Not even Ethan, who usually questioned everything. "Do any of you want to hear my side?" I asked softly. Silence. Just silence. Samantha whispered, "We just want you to stop hurting her." "I didn't hurt her," I said. "Not once." Mina whispered, "There it is again, denial." My chest caved in. "Fine. If none of you believe me, I won't stay here and be judged for things I didn't do." Mother stood halfway. "Adrian?" "No," I said. "I'm done talking." I walked toward the door. Every step felt heavier, like the floor was dragging me down. When I reached the doorway, I spoke without turning back. "I hope you remember this night when the truth comes out." No one answered. I stepped outside into the cold, and for the first time in my life, my home felt like a place I didn't belong. I was sitting alone near the old park bench when I heard footsteps behind me. I didn't turn. I didn't have the strength to face anyone from my family again. But then I heard a quiet voice. "Adrian, it's me." I looked up. "Ethan? What do you want?" "Another lecture." "No," he said quickly. "I came alone. I had to tell you something." I frowned. "Tell me what? That I'm the problem? That Mina is the angel you all protect?" He shook his head. "Just listen. Please." I leaned back. "Fine. Talk." He glanced around as if someone might be listening. "I know you didn't say those things to Aunt Rose." I stared at him. Then why didn't you say anything at the meeting? I wasn't sure, he whispered. But now I am. My chest tightened. What changed? He took out his phone with trembling hands. Sam talked. I froze. Sam? Who's Sam? He's the guy Mina hired, Ethan said. She paid him to fake screenshots and edit voice notes. The world seemed to tilt. What? I have proof, he added. I recorded everything. My voice broke. Ethan, don't mess with me right now. I'm not, he said, unlocking his phone. Look. He opened a folder. Inside were audio files, screenshots, and chat logs. My name was everywhere, in things I never said and never sent. I whispered, play one. He tapped on a recording. A male voice spoke nervously. Mina, I edited the voice note. The part where he sounds angry wasn't clear, so I added distortion. It should fool them now. My stomach twisted. That's not my voice. That's not even close to my voice. I know, Ethan said. But everyone else believed it. Because she made them, I whispered. He scrolled to another file. Here's the chat between her and Sam. I read the messages in disbelief. Mina, make him sound rude. Make him sound like he hates her. Sam, okay. Want me to add more? Mina, yes. I need everyone to see his true colors. My hand shook. Why would she do this to me? Ethan looked down. There's more. I took a deep breath. Just say it. She told everyone, you plan to cut her off financially. I blinked slowly. What? She told Mom, Dad, Aunt Rose, Uncle Robert, even Samantha. I stared at him. I don't even have money like that. What would I cut her off from? I know, he said. But she said you were saving to move out and leave her behind. She claimed you didn't want her depending on you anymore. That doesn't even make sense. I nearly shouted. She's older than me. Why would she depend on me for anything? Ethan rubbed his forehead. She said you were tired of her borrowing things, asking for stuff, needing support. She used it to justify acting hurt around the family. I felt something break inside me, not anger, not pain, something worse. She really turned them all against me, on purpose. Yes, Ethan whispered. Why are you telling me now? I asked quietly. Because I saw your face tonight, he said. You looked like you were drowning. I couldn't stay quiet anymore. I swallowed hard. Does anyone else know the truth? He shook his head. Just me, and Sam. And Mina, I muttered. The mastermind. Ethan nodded slowly. She planned everything carefully. The screenshots, the voice notes, the stories she told. She wanted everyone to believe you were dangerous. I leaned forward, elbows on my knees. What? What did I ever do to her? I don't know, he whispered. But she's obsessed with controlling how everyone sees her. And you were the one person she couldn't control. The words hit like a punch. So she destroyed me, I said. He placed his phone in my hands. Take this. The files are backed up. You'll need them. I looked at him. Thank you, for not abandoning me. I almost did, he admitted. I'm sorry. I took a long breath. It's not over. She played her game in the dark. Now I see the board. Ethan nodded quietly. What will you do? I stood up slowly. For the first time. I know exactly what I'm going to do. You said. Script, remember, write exact word count. The entire story must be written from the protagonist's perspective in first person, I, me, my, format. Do not use third-person narration at any point. The reader should experience the protagonist's thoughts, emotions, and reactions directly. Dialogue must be the primary focus of the story, making up the majority of the content. Minimal but effective narration should be used to keep the story immersive without excessive descriptions. The story should have no unnecessary repetition. Every line should move the plot forward. How the prompt works. I will paste a chapter outline from prompt number 1. You will generate the full chapter in first-person POV. Word count must match the chapter outline exactly. The chapter should prioritize dialogue 60 to 70%, with some narration 20 to 30%, and minimal description 10 to 15%. Avoid info dumping. Character actions, emotions, and backstory should be revealed naturally through dialogue. 1. Output format, first person, dialogue focused, exact word count per chapter. Input. Chapter 7, The Fall of Her Lies. Word count, 600. Summary. With Ethan's help, I show the family the real evidence. At first they doubt me, until they see original files from Sam's drive. Shock spreads. Mina's lies fall apart. She screams, cries, and tries to twist the story again, but no one believes her anymore. She runs away to her room while the rest of the family stands in silence. Characters introduced. No new characters. When Ethan and I walked into the living room, the entire family was already there. Mom, Dad, Aunt Rose, Uncle Robert, Grandma Helen, Samantha. Every face tense, confused, or annoyed. Mina sat in the center again, hands folded like she was preparing for another performance. Mom frowned. Adrian, why are you back? Mina said you threatened her. I let out a tired breath. I didn't threaten anyone. Mina leaned forward. See? He's starting again. Ethan stepped beside me. Actually, he's not. Everyone turned to him. Dad narrowed his eyes. Ethan, what are you doing? Fixing something I should have fixed earlier, he said. Mina's smile wavered. Ethan, don't let him drag you into his delusions. He looked straight at her. Mina, stop. It's over. Her expression twitched. I pulled out the USB Ethan got from Sam. Before any of you say a word, watch this. Aunt Rose crossed her arms. Is this more denial? No, I said. This is proof. Ethan connected the USB to the TV. A folder popped up. Dozens of files. Recordings. Raw audio. Edited versions. Chat logs. Image layers showing how the screenshots were manipulated. Dad frowned. What is all this? Ethan clicked the first audio. Sam's voice filled the room. Mina, I added distortion. The voice should sound like Adrian now. A thick silence fell. The next file played. Do you want more anger? I can add it. Grandma Helen gasped softly. Mina jumped up. This is fake. He edited this to frame me. Ethan shook his head. Sam gave me the original files. Straight from his drive. They matched the timestamps on your messages. He opened the chat between her and Sam. Mina, make him look rude. Mina, everyone needs to see his true colors. Sam, you sure about this? Mina, just do it. Samantha covered her mouth. Mina, you actually wrote that? Mina shook her head wildly. No. Someone hacked me. Or Adrian made these. I cut her off. Stop lying. You admitted everything to me earlier. Her eyes widened with panic. No, I didn't. He's twisting my words again. Mom whispered, Mina, why would you do this? I didn't, she screamed. They're both framing me. Ethan looked at her with sadness. Mina, I literally talked to Sam. He gave me the files in front of me. Dad stared at Mina. Is this true? Did you really do all this? She backed away slowly. I was stressed. You all kept praising him. You never looked at me. Aunt Rose snapped. So you tried to destroy him? Mina pointed at me. He was going to leave. He was going to abandon me. I swallowed hard. I never said that. Not once. Mina shook her head, hair flying. No. You were planning things. You were hiding things from me. I whispered, and that gives you the right to ruin my life? She screamed, I didn't ruin anything. Ethan cut in. Then why did you hire Sam? She froze. Completely. Everyone stared. Dad whispered, Mina, answer him. Her breath became shaky, uneven. I just wanted everyone to notice me again. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I didn't want him to break. You didn't want me to break? I said, my voice cracking. You watched it happen. Mom's eyes filled with tears. Sweetheart, how could you do this to your own brother? Mina suddenly burst into loud sobs, the kind that echo more than they hurt. You all love him more than me. I had to do something. I had to protect myself. Grandma Helen whispered, from what? His kindness. Mina's sobs grew violent. You don't understand. None of you do. She pushed past Samantha. Stop looking at me like I'm a monster. Aunt Rose whispered, you lied to all of us. No. Mina screamed. I saved all of you from him. Ethan whispered, no, you saved yourself from your imagination. Mina let out a broken cry and ran upstairs, slamming her door so hard the windows rattled. The entire room went silent. Every eye turned to me, guilty, ashamed, confused, not because I did something wrong but because they finally knew the truth. Dad stepped toward me slowly. Adrian, son, we're so sorry. I didn't answer. I didn't trust my voice. I only knew one thing. Her lies finally fell. But the damage didn't. I woke to the sound of quiet sobs coming from the hallway. The sunlight streamed through the blinds, but it did nothing to warm the cold heaviness in my chest. Mina's door was open slightly, and I could see her sitting on the floor, knees hugged to her chest. She looked up as I approached. Adrian, can we talk? I stayed where I was, arms crossed. You mean another performance? No, she whispered. I mean, really talk. I frowned. After everything? She nodded, biting her lip. I need to say this. I was jealous, insecure, afraid everyone would love you more than me, afraid you'd leave me behind. I swallowed hard. You realize what that cost me? Her eyes filled with tears. Yes. I know I hurt you more than I can even explain. I took a step back. Do you even understand how it felt? To be judged by the people I trusted most, to feel alone in my own house. I do, she said softly. I can't change what I did, but I'm sorry. I truly am. I laughed bitterly. Sorry? Do you think saying sorry erases months of lies, manipulation, and betrayal? She looked down. No, I don't. I don't want to lose you completely. Can you forgive me? I felt the weight in my chest grow heavier. Forgive you? I repeated. Mina, I trusted you with everything. And you built this wall of lies around me. I know, she whispered. I was wrong. I should have come to you. I should have been honest instead of doing all of that. I looked away, staring at the floor. It's not just wrong, Mina. It's devastating. You took the person I confided in most, the one person I thought would always protect me, and turned them into someone I could no longer recognize. She reached out, trembling. Please, I'm begging you. I want to fix this. I want to make it right. I shook my head slowly. You don't get it. It's not something that can be fixed with words. You destroyed my trust. You destroyed the bond one thought we had. Tears slid down her cheeks. I know. And I'll do anything to earn it back. I stepped back further, the ache in my chest unbearable. You can't. I can't offer that anymore. Not after what you did. You weren't just scared or jealous. You planned it. You manipulated everyone I loved. Her voice broke. I was afraid. I didn't know how to be the sister I thought you needed. I thought if I controlled everything, I could stay close to you. Control doesn't build closeness, I said quietly. It destroys it. And now, all that's left is this emptiness where trust used to be. She sobbed harder, words choked off. I see that now. I see how much I've hurt you. I turned my face to the window, refusing to look at her. The pain felt sharp like glass in my chest. I can't undo what you did. And I can't give you the forgiveness you want. I've lost the person I once trusted the most. She whispered almost inaudibly, I understand. I didn't answer. I didn't move. The room was quiet, filled only with the sound of her quiet crying and the heaviness in my chest. I knew this was the final chapter of what we used to be, siblings who trusted each other, laughed together, shared secrets. That bond was broken now, irreparable. Mina looked at me, hope still lingering in her eyes, but I couldn't give it back. I have to go, I said finally. She nodded silently. And as I walked away, every step carried the weight of the person I had lost. Not just her, but the trust, the love, and the safety I thought I would always have. The space between us was no longer a hallway. It was a chasm. And nothing could bridge it. The weight of the morning felt heavier than usual. I stood in the hallway, suitcase in hand, staring at the empty spaces Mina once filled with lies. My parents hovered nearby, faces etched with worry. Adrian, please don't go, my mother said, her voice trembling. We'll fix things. We'll talk to her. I shook my head slowly. Mom? Dad, it's not just about fixing things. I need space. I can't breathe here anymore. My father stepped closer. We can help. We can make her understand. She's your sister. She's not the sister I knew, I said softly. She's someone I can't trust anymore. And I can't stay here pretending otherwise. My mother's eyes welled up. But this is your home. You're not leaving for good, right? I clenched my fist. I need to leave for good enough to heal. This house, it's full of memories that remind me of betrayal. I can't live in that shadow anymore. Ethan appeared by my side, holding the car keys. Adrian, I'll drive you. You don't have to do this alone. I gave him a small nod. Thanks. I need someone who sees the truth. Mom stepped forward, grabbing my arm. Son, think about it. Are you sure this is the right choice? I looked into her eyes, wishing for some spark of understanding. Mom, I have to do this for me. You and Dad can repair your relationships. I need to repair mine with myself first. Dad sighed, placing a hand on my shoulder. Just promise you'll be careful. And call us. Please. I promise, I said quietly. But I can't stay here. We loaded the suitcase into Ethan's car. The silence was thick, broken only by the muffled sobs of my mother. I refused to look back. Every step away felt like losing something essential, but each step also felt like reclaiming a piece of myself. "Where's Mr. Reed's place again?" I asked, my voice low. Ethan smiled gently. "It's a small apartment near the river. Quiet, private. He's calm, understanding. Perfect for you right now." I exhaled slowly. "Quiet sounds nice. I think I need that more than anything." He glanced at me. "You've been carrying a lot, Adrian. This is your chance to breathe without shadows." I stared out the window as we drove. The streets blurred past. Houses passed, each one filled with lives I once believed included me. But now I realized my life was mine alone to rebuild. "I never thought leaving home would feel like losing everything," I admitted. "You're not losing everything," Ethan said. "You're gaining yourself." I closed my eyes, letting his words sink in. Maybe this is the first step toward something real. Something honest. When we arrived, Mr. Reed greeted us at the door. "Adrian, welcome. You'll find this place quiet, safe, and a chance to start fresh. Take your time settling in." I nodded, feeling a strange comfort in his calm voice. "Thank you. I think I really need this." He handed me a set of keys. "Make it yours. And remember, if you need anything, I'm just a call away." I looked around the small apartment. Bare walls, a single window, a small kitchen. It wasn't much, but it felt like freedom. I think I can breathe here," I whispered. Ethan clapped me on the back. "Good. That's all I wanted to hear." I placed my suitcase down, the sound echoing in the quiet room. It felt symbolic, like dropping the weight of the past. I sank onto the couch, letting the silence wrap around me. For the first time in months, I wasn't running from lies, betrayal, or manipulation. I was running toward myself. And as the door closed behind Ethan, I realized something I hadn't felt in a long time. This was my life, my space, my beginning. The ruins of my old home were behind me, and ahead was a fragile, terrifying, but real chance at rebirth. Months had passed since I left home. My apartment smelled faintly of coffee and old books, a calm I hadn't felt in years. I had a routine now. Work, small dinners, walks in the park, and evenings spent reading or talking with friends who actually listened. Life wasn't perfect, but it was mine. I was sitting at my desk one evening when my phone buzzed. A message from Mina. I froze. For a moment I didn't breathe. Then I unlocked it. "Adrian, I don't expect you to forgive me. I know I don't deserve it. I've lost everyone's trust. I've lost your trust. I finally see the damage I caused, the pain I inflicted, and the bridges I burned. I'm sorry. Truly. I was jealous, insecure, and selfish. I manipulated, lied, and hurt you, and I can't undo it. I just want you to know I see my mistakes. I see everything. I hope one day you can forgive me, even if it's only in your heart. I understand if you never reply." I stared at the message, my chest tightening. A part of me wanted to type back, to say something, anything, to break the tension, to tell her I was okay, or to let her know how much she had hurt me. Then another part of me, a stronger part one didn't have months ago, whispered, "You don't have to reply. You don't owe her your peace." I set the phone down on the table and leaned back in my chair. My apartment felt warmer, safer. The sunlight from the window spilled across the floor, and for the first time, I could breathe fully without a knot in my chest. A memory flashed, the family meeting, her lies, her screams, the betrayal. I felt the sting briefly, but it was distant now, like a scar that hurt only if I pressed on it. I reached for my coffee cup and took a slow sip. Ethan had checked in earlier. We had laughed over some silly office stories, and for the first time in a long while, laughter didn't feel guilty. I looked back at Mina's message. Her words were honest, at least this time. There was no manipulation, no performance. She admitted everything. She owned her faults. But owning them didn't give her the right to enter my life again. I whispered to myself, "I forgive myself. That's enough." The silence of the room wrapped around me like a protective shield. No anger. No bitterness. Just clarity. She would face the consequences of her actions in her own way. Karma, quiet but sharp, had a rhythm of its own. I didn't have to enforce it, life would do that. I opened my laptop and replied to an email from work, focused entirely on tasks that mattered. My phone buzzed again, a friend inviting me for dinner. I smiled and typed back quickly, "I'll meet you there." The message from Mina sat unread. I didn't delete it. I didn't archive it. I just let it exist, a reminder of the past that no longer dictated my present. I realized that choosing not to reply wasn't a punishment for her. It was a statement for me. A declaration that my life, my peace, and my heart were no longer up for negotiation. I had rebuilt myself from the ruins she left behind, stronger, calmer, and aware of my own value. I leaned back, letting the chair creak under me, and stared out the window. The city lights flickered like stars fallen to the streets, and I thought, this is mine. All mine. No one could take it. Not her. Not anyone. And for the first time in a long time, I felt completely, unshakably at peace. I picked up my cup of coffee, took a slow sip, and whispered to myself, I'm free. Then I set the phone down, smiled faintly, and walked toward the evening, toward life, fully, quietly, and finally healed.